Yo, what is up, everybody? We are back with the show. We are bringing the OG himself, Shopmastertv, into the interview room, and we're gonna get sticky in here and see what we can pull out the OG and see if he's got any secrets inside that we all need to know about. So, Shopmaster, we're bringing you in right now. Let's learn a little bit about you and your background of your streaming and your career through Madden and how you got to where you are right now.
Oh man, what's up, everybody? This is the dude Shopmaster. Man, I've only been streaming for maybe 2.5. Really, this is my first year, like really hardcore streaming and streaming as much as I have been. But I've been streaming probably maybe 2 years now. I've been involved in the Madden community since. I've been playing Madden since '91, but I've been involved in the community since probably like 2004 was when I really started to like get into Madden heavily and to compete and stuff like that. And in 2004, EA brought me down to to Redwood City Studios in California because I had a website called Madden Wars, and they saw that it was growing and they wanted me to give feedback for the Madden 04, which had Vic on the cover. So they brought me down. I came with a bunch of other community guys as well who had been there the year before. And man, it was crazy. It was crazy. I thought they were playing when they called me, so I actually didn't even respond to their message. And somebody else from another website had to call me and reach out to me and say, yo, that was a real thing. You probably should respond. And so I did, and it was great. It was great. And so I've been involved with EA and Madden ever since.
Yeah, I know how that goes. I was the same way. I think it was the first time they ever came on my stream. I was like, what? Like, what's going on? It's like, when does a developer ever pop into your stream? You know what I mean? Like, that's me. It becomes a big thing when little things like that happen. And then it's not that way, but to us, it's different.
Yeah, I thought somebody was playing a joke on me because we had heard about these community members, and people had been saying, "Oh, at that time, my online name was Fish Sticks." Believe it or not, yeah,
Fish Sticks.
Wow, that was so long ago. But they were like, "Yeah, you should be a part of that too." And I was like, "Nah, they're not going to get with me. Like, I'm a little guy. Like I don't even know how many of your viewers remember." But they had a website out there called Madden Mania. That was a big site.
I remember that one, I think.
BG Sports, which was a big site as well. So there were some big names from other sites there. So I was just a small site, and so I didn't think nothing of it. And so when they actually sent me an email first, and I totally ignored it. Then somebody called and left a message. I totally ignored it. Then somebody from Madden Mania who I knew called me and said, yo, Ray, yo, Fish Sticks, you need to answer that call, man. You need to answer that call.
Time to cook the fish sticks.
Yeah, exactly.
Where get on that? Where did the name Fish Sticks come from? Because this is new to me. This is something new I'm learning right here.
Oh, man. You know what? To be honest with you, I don't know where the name Fish Sticks came from. I think I have no idea. I don't even like fish sticks like that. I don't like, that's the crazy thing. Like, I don't even like fish sticks. I think somebody gave me that name because at the time I was in a league and I was playing with the Dolphins and they just called me Fish Sticks. I think that's where it came from. So, but no.
How did it evolve from Fish Sticks to Shopmaster?
So Shopmaster was a name that was given to me like 2 years later after Fish Sticks came about. So I was in this league that me and a couple of my friends created. We created this league where it was actually 4 teams of 10 players. And what you did was everybody was on a team and you played against other people on the team. And if you win, you get 2 points for your team. If you lose, you get 1 point. And we had all these different kind of rules. It was called Madden Wars. And the name of the teams was the Agency, the Shop, the Federation, and the Alliance. And I was head of the Shop, so they started calling me Shopmaster. And so ever since then, it just stuck, and we had that league for a long time. It was a very popular league. It was very unique. We had a website that involved stadiums and capturing flags for different stadiums, and we had different battle modes. Like we had a battle mode called Starless battle mode, and basically you pick your team, I pick your team. You pick your team, I pick my team. Then you pick 3 people that I gotta sub out for the entire game. And so you could pick one person from offense, one person from defense, and then one person from any other position that wasn't a duplicate. And so we had run only mode, we had CFL mode where you had to punt. It was sort of like house rules today, but we were doing it like literally like 16 years ago. So that's where Shopmaster came from.
Nice. So, being the old man, I guess you want to say, inside the community with a lot of young guys. I mean, there's a ton of new faces inside here, especially in the last couple of months. It's been crazy from last year when I really got involved in it to now. Like, it's like the whole dynamic of this community has changed with like the people that are in it. I mean, like we said, we had Dubby and Problem used to run the community pretty much. They were the top dogs. And now you have other people starting to swim with them up there. I mean, how does that feel for you being in that dynamic of the team?
I mean, it doesn't really bother me at all, because I know this is a young man's game, whether us old guys like to admit it or not. It's a young man's game, and my reflexes aren't as good as my reflexes were when I was competing in Madden Nation season 1. So to see these young guys come aboard, like, I see my guy K-Mac and, all these guys who are competitive and streaming, they're on a different level. But I feel with Twitch and with streaming in particular, I feel like anybody can carve out their niche. And it's all about finding your niche and not trying to sort of cater to the masses. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, you see a lot of these Twitch pros don't even talk to the stream. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they just stream, and because they're great at the game, people come and watch. Then you have people who are just damn near just entertaining. You got your Buffalo K's who offer insight on how to make coins in different methods. You got your guys like Kep, who may not be as good as the pros in the game, but he's funny as hell and he's entertaining. So you have these different types of streamers, and it doesn't matter if you're old or you're young. You can carve out your niche and find your niche and stick with it and keep grinding, and eventually, good things will happen.
Yeah, that's how I feel with it too. I always say there, like I said, there's always 3 types of streamers. There's the one that just kills the game, and then you have the entertainer, and then you got that guy that has the it factor, and he can do both. And that's kind of where I think Kep falls in at that stage, is because Kep decent at the game. He can play with these guys. Might not be a top tier guy where he's going to go knock everybody's block off every time he touches the sticks, but he's going to go in there and compete, and he's going to entertain you. Because I don't know if you caught his stream the other night, but boy, was he off the hook.
No, I caught his stream the other night. I was the one who requested the butt.
I was dying.
So I totally agree with you. Like, for me myself, I'm just super competitive. I'm just like, I'm a raging competitive person. I love to win. I want to win at everything. Tiddlywinks, poker, man, it doesn't matter. But I'm like you said, I'm not top tier. I'm not top tier entertainer. I'm not top tier Madden player. I fall somewhere in the middle of those things. So it's been a grind, but I love streaming and I love Madden, and I think that's what matters the most. You have to love the game that you're playing. If you're not having fun playing the game that you're playing, then you're not then you're in the wrong business. Now, I get it. Some people are just straight entertainers and are straight funny, whether they win or they lose. They're funny. Those are the entertainers. See, I'm not a top tier entertainer. I fall in the middle, but I love playing Madden.
Yeah, it's kind of I'm probably like the opposite of you because I'm not as good as Madden. Like I can play, I can hang, but I'm not as good as you guys are. But entertaining wise, I'll do some dumb shit on stream and have fun with it. I'll
Mm.
dance, I'll do whatever. You know what I mean? People be over
Right.
here cracking up. That's just how I go. You gotta find it. Like you said, you gotta find that niche, whatever's gonna work. But
See, and then that's the thing. Like it's funny because outside of streaming, like when I'm not playing Madden, I'm I'm the funny guy. I'm the guy in the room that
no,
everybody gravitates to. But when I'm playing Madden, I'm locked in, so I'm not.
that
I'm not. I mean, I'm talking to the chat, but I'm not very entertaining. I talk. I might do some crazy things. My kids may come in and we'll have some great interaction with the kids, or the wife will come in and distract me, and I'll give up a touchdown, just like that.
yeah.
I mean,
That's how I
that's
mean. That's how I get to like. But I think I don't know what it is with weekend league. Weekend league brings out another side of me. Like I get so competitive. I don't want to lose in weekend league,
yeah,
and like it got me the other couple weeks ago. I literally spiked the controller off the ground. Like I lost it. I had enough. Like I was just like because I went for the animation. I had the animation. I picked the ball off, and like it literally you can see the ball in my hands, and then the game glitched, and you seen the ball leave my hands and go in the guy's hands behind me. He scored a touchdown off of it, and I just
yeah.
had enough. I was just like, it's got. I grabbed the controller and I just boom.
I mean, that's one thing that I don't do though. I don't rage. I mean, I don't rage like that. I might get upset, but I don't know. Look, I got kids that I'm paying for to go to college, so I can't be slamming down controllers. I mean, that's
I
the
think that was the first time I've ever done that. Like that's the first time I've done that. Like I don't know what it was, but it was just like there was some aggression build up. I don't know if I was still mad from after I took my break from weekend league for like 3 months or what it was, but it got me. And I was like, this game. I was like, I'm
yeah.
competitive. I think it's the competitiveness in me. Like you are. Like I want to win. Like I want to. I hate losing more. I guess like how I want to say it. I hate winning more than I hate losing. I guess somewhere in that range, however you want to put it. But I
Yeah.
hate losing. Like I hate losing, and I don't. I have to win. Like it's one of those things. And
No,
that day,
nobody likes to lose. Come on, nobody likes to lose.
I have. There is a question I did have for you. It was
Yeah,
brought up last in the last interview, and it was a good question. That's why I want to bring it back. What would you think about doing like how they have the I guess it's a slowdown. I guess that's what they called it in house rules. That they
cool that.
brought the cool down. They brought that into weekend league.
Nah, I
No,
wouldn't like. I wouldn't like it. So I look. I'm probably speaking on the competitor side of me right now. I mean, it's fine for house rules, but I wouldn't like it competitively because you know a lot of times, and I know what people are saying. You see these competitors and they call the same play over and over again. But to me, like I play one type of defense. I mean, I stay in one formation a lot, but I make different, hot route
adjustments.
changes and adjustments out of it. So it, I could get by. I think it would make weekend league actually a lot easier for a lot of people. Um, I think it almost I feel like it would shrink the gap. It would shrink the gap between the top player and a person who's just getting on and just playing because these top players run the same play but just make adjustments from that same play, both offensively and defensively, especially if they have a hot route master quarterback. They might run the same play but just change the hot routes, change the routes on for their wide receivers.
And then on the next one, like the state of the game where it's at now. What I mean, how do you feel about Madden right now, in its state where it's at now?
Oh man, you that's kind of a loaded question because
I mean, okay, so
and my
I'm unloaded. So
okay,
where where the game started out. I felt in the beta form, it was an amazing game, but there was some changes made. throughout the patches, and where the game lies right now with certain things that don't cover certain coverages aren't covering the way they should. Certain things in the game aren't doing what they were once doing. How do you feel about the game? Like, are you still like I said?
Look, I still love the game. I'm one who can adjust to what the game is doing. You're right. When the beta came out, I thought the beta was great, but we've seen this the last 2 years, and I said it this year when the beta came out that hey, this is going to change. It's not going to stay this way. Zones are not going to be as tight as they are right now. We've seen this for 2 years in a row where the beta comes out, then people start complaining, and then we get patches, and then it breaks something else, and then we get more patches to fix that, then it breaks something else. We also started the year where it was heavy run early in the year. And I think we've come to the point where, especially if you're talking about MUT, where guys are starting to get better pursuit angles. And I think that's really what you're seeing. You're seeing players with better play recognition and better pursuit angles. And so the run game isn't as bad as it used to be at the beginning. So, not as bad as far as stopping the run.
Yeah, it's a little bit easier to stop it now. I feel that way too.
And I feel like the game is more balanced now than it was at the beginning of the year. But I agree with you. The beta was, I feel like 2 months in, I wanted to go back to the beta.
Yeah, I love the beta. The beta was super good, super good to me.
Yeah.
But now when you get into that, does that come? Most of those patches, are they coming from the competitive guys, or how is that working towards how they're adjusting things? Because I know I see a lot of competitive guys all over Twitter a lot going through the mix of this isn't working, this is how it should be, and this is how we want it to be. So I know if I'm a company, I'm still I gotta cater. I hate catering to anybody because this it'd be my point if I was running. I wouldn't cater to anybody. I would try to balance it that way. Competitive guys get what they want, and then you got your consumer that gets what they want. But I feel as the way EA goes about it is they go to the consumer more than they go to the competitive side of it, because the consumer is what makes them money.
Yeah, look, I've been fortunate enough to be kind of on the inside of things as being an EA Sports game changer, and being able to submit feedback and seeing that feedback in place. But overall, I would say that, look, as much as you see and hear on Twitter and, see these pros and see just everybody just tweeting, we are the minority. I stress that all the time. Like, look, millions of people buy this game. Millions of people don't care about what changes in the game. They just play this game because they're NFL fans and they want to play with their favorite team. And we are the minority that are hardcore, that know the ins and outs, that know, okay, what Superstar and X Factor and all of those mean. There's millions of people who buy this game to just play this game. And I think that's what people are missing out. They say, oh man, we're complaining about this and that, and they're not fixing it, or they're not doing anything about it. Well, we're the minority. And don't get me started on franchise mode, because franchise mode is one that's near and dear to my heart.
It's
and I feel like it's just been neglected. And again, we've given our feedback. We've made lists, and there's stuff that we put on a list 4 years ago that has still not made it into franchise mode. But there's other things that corporate, above the devs want in the game that get added that makes no sense. It's nothing that the consumer wants, but it's something that they feel is going to sell games. And so I feel bad for the developers in a lot of instances, because they're the ones that take the brunt of this. But believe me, a lot of the stuff that we get feedback on, they want it as well, especially when it comes to new games and new out-of-the-box features or back-of-the-box features is what I really want to say. Back-of-the-box features. there's stuff in there that they don't want, but they have to put it in there because they're getting told to do that from above them. One instance, real quick, I would say is like, you remember when confidence became a thing in Madden?
Yeah, I remember that.
Years ago. I remember being in Austin, Texas, and they had a community day, and I was invited down there to partake and see what the new franchise was going to be. I can't even remember what year it was. I think it was
Confidence. That's old. So that had
it
to.
was like 3 years ago. It was like 3 or 4 years ago. But anyways, we went down there, and so I had a list of things that the community wanted. I had taken polls. I had asked a whole bunch of people. I had went on daddy leagues, went to like all the commissioners. Hey, what do y'all want? What do y'all want in franchise mode? This is your time to get it in, so we can give it. So we sent all that stuff down. So when we came down, we were expecting some of those things to be crossed off the list. And what we got was confidence. And I asked them, I said, yo, hold on. Wait a minute. Who mentioned confidence? I have never heard confidence mentioned by anybody that I've talked to. I've talked to over 1,000 people. Not one person said, you know what, they should add something that makes them more confident in the. I've never heard of that. And so I'm just like, why? Why are y'all putting this? Y'all spent all this time on confidence, and nobody wants it. Nobody wants it.
Do you think the reason why franchise is lacking now is because Mutt runs it? Like, I feel like Mutt runs Madden right now, like, and it sucks because I'm a franchise guy like you. I loved it. That's all I would play. I played years of franchise. I would probably put 7 to maybe 15 in that range seasons in,
Right.
like just nonstop. That's all I play, and then it just seems like you said, it lacks. Like, starting to me, it feels like it's lacking in a lot of areas. There's a lot you could do inside, especially like the way you're drafting, you're scouting people, way guys are developing, and it could be changed to have a better feel of realism to it. And I think that's what a lot of people. I think that's why a lot of people don't play franchise anymore, is because besides these guys that have these CFM leagues, because it's competitively, but I feel as that's why it's not what it used to be, and I feel as they don't really care because there's no money in that in franchise.
Nah, I don't. Again, no, being from on the inside, I wouldn't say that though. I wouldn't say that Mutt is the reason why franchise is lacking, because there are two different teams. You have a franchise team and you have a Mutt team, and actually the franchise team is bigger than the Mutt team. So it's not a matter of there's no resources or there's not enough people to do something for franchise. I just think the lack of innovation, or the lack of, it's not innovation. It's the lack of commitment to make franchise better is the reason why it's not better. It's not resources. It's not that they don't have enough resources. It's not because they don't have the people in place who are franchise guys who love franchise. I mean, look, they hired my guy Moonlight Swami, who was a franchise guy. Guess where he's working at? He's doing mostly Mutt. He's doing mostly Mutt stuff. So I just think it's just a lack of commitment. And again, it just pains me because I know how great it can be. All they got to do is take head coach, and put it and let us play games with head coach. Head coach was the best franchise game that I've ever played. Head coach 09. Best franchise game I played.
Did you see that video that had came out? There was a video, it was a couple months back, a guy put out of, wish I could find it, but he put it out, and it was all about how you can make franchise better. I know that video was, I was like, dude, if they would implement that into franchise, I probably wouldn't play Mutt.
Dude, this dude, Deuce Douglas on Operation Sports, had put out a full-length blueprint 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Like they and sent it to him. And we know they've sent it to him because at the last community day I went for franchise, Deuce Douglas was there. And he told them, hey, y'all should do this. We should do this. Like it again, it's not that they don't know what the franchise community wants. It's not that they don't have the resources. It's the lack of commitment to make franchise better. That's simply put. Simply put, it's just a lack of commitment. I mean,
I would love to see the commitment come through a little bit. I mean, it would. I think if you have both, that'd be, to me, that would be a perfect thing. You got the MUT side, and then you have franchise, both doing big things. I feel you would sell the game more. The game would sell more than it already does.
But there's also aspects that they can take from MUT and put it in franchise. Like last year, I said, hey, when you go in MUT and you're doing your lineups and you can compare one player to another player that's on your team. Like let's say you go into, you're looking at the auction block and you can compare that person to somebody else on your team.
Yeah, so kind of like do that in the free agency.
Why not put that in free agency where we can compare?
That would be really dope, actually.
Instead of me going to free agency and being like, dang, do I have somebody this good on my team? And having to go out and come back and compare like that. Like, again, Smee, these things are not something that just popped up in my head or just something that just came to me this year. No, these are things that have come to franchise guys who have put in feedback, have given EA this feedback, but it just doesn't materialize like we think it should.
I mean, and I agree. It's got a lot, like you said, when you break it down the way you do, the commitment being there, and I mean, you could probably bang it against the wall 100 times and same results. But I mean, does that make you stop trying? No, because you want it.
Look, let me also say this. Although it frustrates me, it doesn't make me stop trying. I'm still going to send back feedback. I'm still going to send back all my comments and everything, even if they don't invite me to another community day, which they haven't in the last year and a half, 2 years maybe. So, with all that said, like, I still want a franchise to be great. I play a lot more MUT now because that's more enjoyable. And CFM has become frustrating because of the lack of innovation and the lack of sort of things that I know could be in this game to make it, just worthwhile to play. The replay value in franchise mode is pretty much non-existent. They have stats that will tell you so many leagues have been formed or created, but only maybe 20% go past week 5 of the first season.
Yeah, I mean, I had my own league this year. We had 32 users, and I think we played. Before I ended up taking a break from everything, I think we were heading to season 5. We had a good group of guys, but it was also like we were fighting inside there because sim plays differently than competitively. Arcade mode plays different than all of them. So when you go full sim, you got to sit there and try to you're messing with sliders, trying to get things to play right. So you got play recognition. Guys are covering their zone, covering their purples when they need to be covering purples, and they're covering blues, and they're not. These guys just aren't skating across, and they're wide open all the time.
Yeah.
But it was frustrating to me is because when I'm playing that franchise mode, there's just when you're developing, I feel like developing in that mode needs a huge upgrade to me. I think it takes so long to get some guys good, even if they're playing lights out. Like Monte Nicholson, take for example. I had 12 picks with him in the first 4 games, and I wasn't getting anything. I was getting a point every so often. I'm like, this dude's killing it. How am I supposed to keep going if I can't get him? Like everybody else's team's going up, everybody else is getting X factors, but I can't get this guy to get the next level. And then they give you the scenario to get in there, and some of them scenarios when you get to them, you ain't getting them. You're not getting them before you go in. You're playing a competitive player on the other side, How
There's,
hard that is.
there's no way you're holding them to under 200 yards
Yeah.
total. Yeah, I get it. I get it. And then it's confusing. Do I need one tackle or one tackle for loss, one
One
sack?
sack, one
Yeah,
interception.
I don't understand. What do I need to do? It's almost like a mystery game. You in the game and you're just like hoping and crossing your fingers that your breakout player got all of his stuff. So I
Yeah.
feel you.
Now, like I mean, in the aspect of MUT, I mean, everybody. I'm gonna put this. I'm putting this to every Madden guy. What is your feeling on X Factors? Do you want them in the game or out of the game?
I personally, I like X Factors. I don't mind X Factors. I don't mind superstar abilities as because I like the fact that those guys are better than Joe Schmo. What I didn't like before X Factors was that you could take a 71 overall player, and because he has some a little bit of speed, he can do a whole bunch of stuff for you.
Yeah.
I like that it differs. I mean, this is what we kind of always talked about. I know when I was, doing franchise, like let ratings matter. So if a guy's a superstar, then let him play like a superstar. If a guy's an X
Absolutely.
Factor, let him play like an X Factor. I don't want this dude who's a 75 overall, cornerback just locking down Julio Jones because he has some speed. No, that shouldn't happen. So I'm fine with X factors and superstar abilities.
Like I think my take on the X Factors is I'm a little bit different because I'm like a straight football type of guy. Like I just like to play football and I like to play like the realistic football. I mean, I get much not. I mean, it's a franchise. It's fantasy football basically. You get to play with all these guys. But I think my problem is going to probably be that some of the X Factors are just unreal. Like you can't stop them at some time. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, okay, so
Like Moss, like the
um,
Moss one.
that's something different though. I agree that some of the X factors need to be tuned, but I don't feel like you should take X factors off. I mean, yeah, the Moss one is ridiculous. Like really over three people just because he's lit up at the beginning of a game.
Yeah, I mean he's probably one of the worst ones because I know
Yeah.
I use it as safety a lot, so I'm pretty good at reading. I mean, I played a lot of football. I played from the age of 6 to 33, and I played college and I played in minor leagues for a little bit. But so my reading is I can pretty much grip something and take off and know where I gotta be. And I'll play Moss. I'll be all over him. I have the corner on him. I have the safety on him, and I still can't cover it. Like that's what gets me. That's what drives me crazy.
I just blitz the house. Whenever I see somebody with Moss, I just blitz the house. You can have anything underneath, but if you want to wait till he gets 55 yards down the field to throw it, then that's fine. But you getting screamed at in the process.
Yeah. And then I mean, so when you go back on how this community is, and you've been here, I think you've been here longer than me. So from where it's been of recently to where it's now, how do you feel about it?
I mean, come on. Last year was very. I just felt like last year the community was very toxic.
Absolutely, I say that all the time. Like from
I feel like this year is definitely calmed down a lot. Um, and I'm not even talking because there's a pandemic. I'm just talking about just even at the beginning of the year is very calm and everything. So I'm happy with where the community is right now. I've been in this community since really 2004, and I've seen it come a long ways. And I've seen guys compete at Madden challenges. I remember going to stadiums and meeting up with guys and competing at Madden challenges all over the United States. I've seen, of course, Madden Nation. I was on Madden Nation season 1, and I've seen that kind of evolution and it grow. I think the one thing that I'm kind of disappointed about, and probably this year is not a good year for that, because of, like I said, the lack of just the pandemic in general. But I really thought that Madden and esports would be at a bigger place than what it is today. I mean, if you look at everything going on, Madden is probably the one of the lowest esports around, and we all know that Madden makes millions and billions of dollars, millions and millions of dollars, maybe not billions, but millions and millions of dollars. And so for their grand prize has been going up, but it's still not as higher as a lot of these other esports. And I guess that's where I'm kind of disappointed. I feel like there could be more. And again, I know, like, the stuff that happened down in Jacksonville, that took a hit. Esports for Madden took a hit there, because I was actually ready to throw a sanctioned tournament in DC for Madden for the second year in a row. But then that happened and was not able to do it because of security reasons and stuff. So, but I expect the esports part of Madden to grow, and I think that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that one too. I said I had when I had Tyler on here, Tyler Noonan, I had him on here for the first show ever. I spoke with him on that too because I feel the same way. I feel like the prizes are pretty low to what you look at, like a COD, stuff like those, and like League of Legends. Those guys are just making stupid money. Like even in Fortnite, I mean, what was it last year? I think that kid was 15 years old and won $1 million.
Booga,
Yeah,
Booga.
it's
I follow.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I watched. Me and my son watch him on Twitch. That dude made $3 million
That's
at
what I'm
one.
saying. That's unreal. Like, and I mean, and these guys, what I feel bad for a lot of them because what they're making is not enough to live off of. It honestly isn't. And I feel as they put that the hours that some of these guys are putting in, labbing up, figuring out the meta, changing up the meta, especially when these guys sometimes there's a patch right before a tournament. Then they gotta switch what they're doing. And so it's even more time going into it. And like I said, I might not be in that community as competitively, but I follow these guys. I talk to a lot of these guys, and like knowing what they put into it is just it's unreal. The hours that go into getting ready for one of these and stuff switching up like that, and then they get a prize. Like, yeah, at the end of the year, your prize is big. Like I think what's this one? 220, 250,000.
Yeah, but that is it's still chump change.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, I mean, like I said, like Fortnite tournaments compared to COD tournaments, they're making
But
500,000 millions of dollars a
it's
tournament.
fight tournaments, it's Street Fighter tournaments, it's Mortal Kombat tournaments, it's Gears of War tournaments. Like, I was once a player rep. So I was a player agent for esports players. And I did a lot of research on like what people should get compensated for if they were signed by an esports organization. And I was looking at these different games and all the money that they were putting out. I just wish I could be Madden's esport commissioner for 1 year. 1 year. That's all I need. 1 year. And it would be great. It would be great. I would have Madden on the map. I see Lauren said, is it possible with them having the NFL's license? Are they controlling that to an extent? Look, the NFL is known for kind of imposing their will on anybody that has their license, which is why I completely state this is why there's only one developer making a football game, making an NFL licensed football game is because that's what the NFL wanted. There's a bunch of stuff that would love to put in Madden that the NFL won't allow them to do. So I know that they have their hands in their esports as well. But with that said, it's got to be more cooperation between the NFL and EA.
Well, I mean, that has to happen at some point in time. You know what I mean? Like for Madden to grow and that esports division to grow, these guys aren't going to keep playing for the little bit of money. I mean, is it more than what they were before? Yes, it's way
Yeah,
more. But
it's more.
in this day and age, these guys can't continue to be on this platform trying to make a living out of it when there's not money to make a living out of it. You know what I mean?
Agreed. I mean, the fact that you see where only some of the NFL teams host their club championships in their stadium is a big tell. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think only maybe out of the 32 teams, only maybe like 12 actually have something at their stadiums. Everyone else has to play their games at EA for the. So
I noticed that myself. I was wondering about that myself because I would have thought more teams would get involved in it if it's something that goes through the NFL too. You know what I mean? Like the NFL being a multi-billion-dollar company. I mean, like, come on, if these guys are pushing your logo, they're pushing your teams, they're pushing everything out there. Like,
but I think it's look, we all know like when the MCS first started, they had a problem. They had an image problem because guys were cursing and yelling and doing all of that on stage. And so I think if you remember when MCS first came out, they had a bunch of sponsors. I mean, a bunch of sponsors. But then that second year, they had no sponsors.
Yeah.
McDonald's dropped out. Like a lot of a
lot of big names.
They lost a lot of big names, and they had to come in and say, "Hey, okay, look, players, we have to have some kind of training before you guys can get in front of a TV because we have sponsors that we need to take care of." And once they did that, they started seeing more sponsors come back and stuff. So now you see the Snickers, now you see the Starbucks. So I'm hoping that it continues to grow, but I just want to be commissioner for 1 year, just 1 year.
I get it, man, and that's the one thing. I mean, we talk a lot like off the stream and just in DMs and on the phone sometimes, and that's one of the beautiful things. I think it came from streaming Madden. Like you get to meet some good people like yourself, and I think the community side of it, I think it's changed so much. And I think there's so much willingness to help each other inside the community now than there was last year. Last year, a YouTuber couldn't come in the community on Twitch or people be all over them. You know what I mean? Like, and it was the same thing. It's like if a Twitch guy went over and tried to do YouTube, it wasn't happening. Like they just beat him down. And I don't know what flipped in between there in the last year. But now you got YouTubers coming over here doing it, and these Twitch guys don't care. And then you got they're like sharing the pie now, like, and it's I enjoy it myself because that's how I am. I'm always trying to take people with me. You know what I mean? Trying to bring next person. What if you're just starting out? Yeah, I'll jump in here and try to help you pull you up. And I feel as we keep that direction, this community is just going to explode.
Yeah, I mean, like we said earlier, I just feel like there's enough for everybody. It's just a matter of you carving out your own niche. You also I think also is participation in the Twitch chats have been at an all-time high.
Absolutely.
Usually what happens is you see the same people in different Twitch chats. And then all of a sudden they start streaming and I see that guy in my stream all the time. Let me go watch him in his stream and check him out. So I just think everybody's just in a great place right now. And there's not a lot of toxicity. And, everybody's having a good time playing Madden, raging and all.
Yeah, I mean, and I think what EA has done with even the Madden Live stuff is an awesome thing. Like the only thing that bothers me with that is that repeat people, the community's so big. I'd like to see new people. You know what I mean? If everybody gets on there, and I don't ever hate if you get it. You know what I mean? Like if you're getting it, good for you because you're getting ready to get something you might not be ready for. It depends on how new you are into the streaming world. Like I know Lauren got it. Lauren's just getting into the community, getting started with the community. She got it. That's a lot of people at first. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you coming in there, you're getting 500, 800, and if you get it at the very beginning when they first started, you got 1,000 some people in there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean, but who else is doing that? Like
nobody.
that's what I'm saying. Like no other developer is doing that. I think the Man Live program has been the biggest hit of this year, with the way that they continually try to be transparent to what's coming out, what's going on, and to also showcase, you know, community members who are, twitching, and, and just sharing the love. So
I
it's,
mean,
it's all good. And I feel you on the, they need to, move it around.
yeah, I mean,
Or
and that's what I really, that's the only thing I see with it is that he's got. I mean, the partners. I mean, I feel is like it's not a bad thing to have partners on there because they get seen a lot more than somebody like me and myself
right.
or and whatnot. So like if you have them on there, but I see them on there so much, I'm like they have an established community, and I always hear EA wanting that. They always say they want to help the community. Well, then go get the guys that are maybe new, or you got somebody that's been grinding in the community, has been here. Go grab that person. You know what I mean? If they have the content and they haven't broken your TOS or they haven't done anything to keep them from that. I mean, I know guys that bought coins and all that stuff. They know who you are. You're not getting no love. It's as simple as that. You broke TOS, you lost your shot.
But I think you also have to remember that they represent a company too. So,
Yeah.
they have to be very careful of who they bring in, and who, like I remember, before. Remember, they used to just, oh, let me just find somebody with a face cam, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna them, or I'm gonna raid them.
Yep.
Uh, and then
They
all of
did
a
that
sudden,
last year a little bit, and I think somebody did something. I remember. I know where you're going with it.
yeah, and then somebody said something, right after they rated them, and they kind of caught some backlash from that. So, and I won't go into everything that went on internally, but I think that's when they were like, okay, you know what, we need to come up with something where we can showcase positive guys,
Numbers, yeah.
positive members of the Madden community. And I think that's what happened. And I think that's why you have Madden Live now, because of those incidents that happened last year when they just went to anybody after the stream.
Yeah, I mean like I said, I had the biggest one I think I had any parts of EA was Mutthead when they came in. There was like 3,500 freaking people. I mean, I was a little struck because that's a lot of people, but I mean, I think what they're doing inside the community. I mean, even after they took that break, they were out. They started subbing to people, like they started dropping like the subs. I've never seen
Oh, yeah.
played
Like
so
who?
many games. I play so many games. I've streamed so many games. I've never once seen Epic come into a stream. Never seen Activision come into a stream. None of that. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
you ain't getting that in any other community.
And just drop subs, but they also did it with other EA games too. I heard.
I,
Um, so,
I don't
so they
know. All I know, I was just blown away when it happened to me. And then I was like, I was actually talking to you at the same time, and they were like dropping them into your chat. I was like,
yeah,
Jesus.
yeah, yeah.
But
It
I
was
mean,
good.
so what I want to do is I'm going to open it up to the chat and let them ask you some questions that they want to know about you or what they want to know.
I want to ask this old man no questions.
Yeah, I mean, I like you got the beard clean though. You might not be able to go out and get it all lined up like you want, but I like
I saved it a little. You know,
it.
use me just for you, man. It was out of control earlier.
Oh, I get it. I was like that the other week. I was like, oh my god, I can't get a haircut, nothing. I was like, just give me the clippers.
How do you think the skins are going to do? Like, I can start asking you some questions.
How do I think this thing's gonna do? I mean,
How do you think the skins going to do?
I think they had a very good draft, like from years that we endured with Bruce Allen. Thank God he's gone. But I think from what Rivera's done since he's already stepped into this role, you could feel a difference in the players. Like these players want to work. Like these players are they're all showing up to these meetings that are virtual. You got
Mhm.
coaches showing up. They want to put work in, and now they're like, I feel it. Like just that way they're talking. And these guys, just like I've heard McLaurin, I've watched him talk. watch Haskins talk, like these guys have a different mentality already. They have their heads are up higher. They're more confident. I think I truthfully think the way their draft went, I think they're gonna do. I think they're gonna have a good season. I could see a possible wild card playoff out of them if they put it all together.
Yeah, see, you know what? I'm not going that far, but that doesn't mean that I don't think. I just want the culture of the team to change, and I
The
think
whole culture back. That's what I want.
that's what I want to see. I want to see the culture change. Like even if we go 7-9 or 8-8, I'll be fine with that as long as guys, one, hate that they're losing, and two, the culture, the overall
They just
culture
want to play football. That's what I want.
has changed, and that you can see it out on the field.
Like, I mean, I think a lot of it. I think a lot comes with the way the NFL is ran. Though is why players get a certain way sometimes. Is because there's no loyalty by the owners anymore. It's not like it used to be back when like Riggins and all those guys played. You knew Riggins wasn't getting traded. No, like it wasn't happening. Like he knew he was safe. Nowadays, you're expendable. It don't matter if you're the man or not. You're expendable. Like if they can get a deal for you, you going. Have a good day. And I think these guys now have that mentality. I gotta play to get my. I'm playing to get my money.
Right, right. Yep. Yep.
And that's it. And like and that's kind of like the Trent Williams deal. Like
Yeah.
they did everything that man complained about, asked him to do. They didn't. He want no Bruce Allen gone, training staff gone, all of it gone. Everything they could possibly do to make that man happy, and that man wanted money. That's all that was. That's all that bullshit. It all came down to money, and it sucks because I'm a huge Trent Williams fan.
Did they get rid of the training staff?
Yeah, there's a whole new training staff. They got like the best training staff in the NFL now, like the most known guy. They brought him in, and he brought his staff with him. They did everything. White, they cleaned it, cleaned the whole everything that Trent wanted. They did.
That's what I heard. I heard that like I don't know how they won training staff of the year last year with all the injuries they had. Maybe that's why they won because
I don't know either because it's been like that the last couple of years. We've been finishing the season with like 28 people on injury reserve.
Yeah.
That's a lot of guys.
Looks like Lauren had a question. She said, "Would love to know your thoughts on 2K and what you think that means for EA long term." So I'm happy to discuss this because I think people, 2K came out said, "Hey, we're partnering with the NFL to come out with a new game this year." I don't think it's going to be the game everybody thinks it's going to be. Everybody wants 2K5 to come back, but I don't think it's going to be a simulation type game.
They don't have complete rights on players though either, do they?
No, they don't. And so long term for EA, I don't think EA has anything to. I don't think EA should be worried. I think the consumer should be worried because, in my opinion, I would love for 2K to get back into football. Now to be honest with you, I never liked 2K games.
I just like them being pushed. I like that push from another company into Madden. It made the game better.
Right. I love their presentation, their halftime shows, their interviews and stuff like that. But I never liked the gameplay. Didn't 2K have where you had to tap the A button to sprint or something?
It was weird, and their guys were like mutants.
I never liked their gameplay. Their presentation and all of that was phenomenal. But like you said, I want something that's going to push EA to do better. Where they're both going to push each other to do better.
And I think that happens in a lot of games. Like if you look at NBA 2K, game used to be phenomenal when they had live behind it.
Yeah.
When those guys were pushing each other back and forth, like the games were always good. And then when you take that element of having somebody to push, like, so why is EA got to try harder if they don't worry about anybody? Same thing. 2K don't have to worry about EA because EA's not making live.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and who knows if live comes back this year or not? I would hope. I'm a big live guy, and I'm hoping it comes back and it's good.
Yeah, I'm a big live guy as well. So
now, your boy E Nice wants to know how old you are.
I'm 46. I'm not ashamed to say I'm 46. I'm 46 years old, and I still whoop your tail in some Madden.
E Nice. So, anybody else have any other questions for Shop? I know I seen Deacon here. I think he had something earlier. If he had one earlier, he might have just been agreeing. Like, y'all talking about food and stuff. Like, we're in here talking, y'all in here talking about barbecue chicken. Okay, so it said I think Lauren had one. It was they wanted to know where you think Cam Newton's going.
Oh, I hope he doesn't come to the Redskins. I don't think Ron Rivera wants him to come to the Redskins either. Listening to Ron Rivera talk about Cam, it almost sounded as if he was like, yeah, I like Cam, but I'm not sure this is the place for him. Because if you bring Cam in, you're going to have to start him.
Yeah.
He's fully healthy. You're going to have to start him, and that's gonna stunt the growth of Haskins, who I think has some promise at least, or at least let's see. The one thing I don't want is for Haskins to take a back seat, because then that means we're going to have to take longer to see if he has what it takes. You know what I'm saying? If you bring Cam in, let's say Cam plays for a whole year and then he leaves. Well, now you got to see if Haskins has what it takes that season. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'd rather see Haskins play this year, play the full year, and not bring Cam Newton to the Skins.
Now, do you think my question from you is, as I hear you talk about it, is do you think if Cam sits long enough on the free agency block, you bring him in as a backup, or is that just
the longer he
bad
sits,
water?
the longer he sits, the more I think he might come to the Skins because of Rivera. Even if he sits, like, what do you mean? Like, if we pick him up after week 3 or something?
I'm saying like in general, like I'm gonna say he ends up we get to week 5, something like that, and he's still sitting. He's not nowhere. Do you think he comes in and he'll accept a backup role?
No, I don't think he'll accept the backup role, and I don't think we would even pick him up unless Haskins was struggling. Now we get to week 5 and we're 0-5, and Haskins is stinking up the place. Then I see us going to get Cam Newton and Cam Newton come in and start. But if Haskins is fine, then Haskins would have to be putrid, and they would have to be over for Cam to come to DC, because Cam wants to start. He's not going to start in DC unless they have given up on Haskins.
And they asked, Lauren had asked, do you think games will be postponed despite the schedule? Because I guess the schedule releases tonight.
No, I think do you mean Madden? Do I think the Madden game will be postponed? If you're talking about Madden, I don't think the Madden game will be postponed. I think it'll still come out August, September.
Yeah, she's talking Madden.
Okay, yeah, I still think the game comes out August, September. I think what you will see,
that would push it back if it comes out in September.
Yeah, but to me, it's come out in September before, so
been a while for that.
Yeah, it's been a while for that, but I wouldn't say that's pushing it back. I mean, when they say pushing it back, I'm thinking like December.
I wouldn't mind it coming out in September, because then you have your real rosters right off the rip. You got everybody that's on the 53 man roster right off the rip. You don't have to wait to start. You can start your CFM right up and rock out.
I think what you will see though is the lack of information coming out about it.
Yeah, I feel as that with this, you feel like the game might be in a bad spot when it comes out because they're not able to work on it like they typically would be at this time.
Yeah, that's tough, especially with the new consoles coming out. Like, when does the PS5 supposed to release?
Well, they are, for what I understand, they go on pre-order next month on the 2nd. So they'll be dropping in November, I would say.
Right. So I wouldn't. That's really the game that I would say I would be fearful of, is the next gen game, not really this gen game. I think this, Madden 21 for PS4 and Xbox One should be okay. I don't think there'll be any dip in, features, just the lack of information about those features before it comes out.
Then I had Captain Joe ask. He's like, he just started streaming. Do you have any tips for a new streamer?
Yeah, I have a great tip for a new streamer. If you're streaming, uh, turn your view count off. Turn your view count off. If you're streaming in Slobs, Streamlabs OBS, or even if you're streaming, I don't know if you could turn it off, like if you're streaming straight from the console, but you have to stream as if you have 0 guys in there, and just talk and talk to the chat. Just talk to the chat. Keep it positive. Have fun with it. But sometimes people get caught up and they see, 2 people in there, or they see 3 people in there, and they don't talk because they're like, it's only 2, 3 people in here. I'm just gonna play the game as if I'm just sitting in my house, just by myself. No, you gotta pretend. You gotta make it seem like it's a whole rack of people in there.
I agree with that one 100%.
And just be yourself. The one thing I will say is don't try to come out your box. I remember when I first started streaming, and I just was like, you know what? I'm gonna be the most hilarious guy. It just didn't work out. I couldn't keep it up. Like I did it for like 2, 3 streams, and then I was just like, yo, this is so exhausting. It is so exhausting. If you're yourself, and
it's much easier. Streaming is much easier.
You're not exhausted. I mean, that first week when I was trying to be an extrovert. I'm an extrovert anyways, but I was trying to do extra stuff, and I would turn off the stream and be like,
you don't want to turn back on.
The next day, I'm like, oh my God, I got to do this all over again. Oh my God. No, but if you're just yourself and it's just natural, and you just, you just acting natural and you just speaking natural, it becomes natural, and it doesn't become a chore. That's when it's time for you to take a break. Whenever you start streaming and it becomes a chore. Never this year have I streamed and felt like, oh my God, I gotta stream, and I really don't want to stream. No, I wanted to stream. I love streaming.
Definitely, it's definitely. I think this year too, with the way the community has been, I think it's made it even more enjoyable. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to worry about something coming into your chat, because like it was like last year. I remember like I said, I'm not that great at the game. Like I can read a defense, I can tell you what's going on, I can help you adjust yourself and whatnot. But I had so much toxicity coming in. Like I had people find my phone number or something, like because I had my own business, found my phone number. They were calling my phone. They were ordering food in my house. Like I mean, I went through it last year. Like it was wild. And I mean, I had to call the cops and get them involved to like get IP addresses and everything, because they ended up threatening my wife. Like wow. It went wild, man. I'm telling you. So my thing is, if I can give you any advice, is get a schedule. Stick to your schedule. Stick to that schedule. Live by that schedule. If you say you're gonna be there, be there. If you can't be there, then you need to find some type of social media where your followers are following you. Let them know at all time, because the schedule, if somebody can't find you, if you're gonna randomly stream, you're not gonna grow. You're not gonna have nobody show up. You're not gonna build your community. You gotta remember, your community starts with you gotta put a foundation in first. Foundation gonna be your schedule. You know what I mean? That's
real quick. I look at somebody like J-Dub, who decided, you know what, I'm going to stream every morning at this particular time, and
doesn't miss it.
He didn't miss it, and he didn't miss it for 30 straight days, and he got such a following. And that's one of the things that I struggle with. I struggle with a schedule, because I'm one of those guys who live off the seat of my pants. Like I'm not a planner. I'm just, my wife is the planner in the family. I'm not the planner.
I'm with you, bro. I'm exactly you. My wife does all the planning. She's like, oh, we got to do this at this time, and we got to plan it out. Like, I'm like, man, like, I don't want to plan it. Like, let's see what happens.
I'm fine when somebody else is planning it, but literally somebody could call me the day of and be like, yo, let's go to this party. Oh, I'm there. Let's go. Where my wife if one of her girls calls her and says, "Hey, there's this party, let's go." Ooh, I didn't plan to go to a party. Like, oh, there's other stuff that I need to do.
Yeah,
like,
right.
and I'm just like, call somebody and be like, "Yo, I can't make it. I just made other plans,
I just pushed the live button, man.
I can't do it. I gotta go."
So for affiliate, it all depends on you how you get it done, man. Like affiliate can take a long time if you don't do it right. Like like I said, you stick to a schedule, you do what shop says, you pay attention to your chat, and it don't matter who's in there. If you have one person, that person is 1,000 people. You treat that person like you get to know your community. Like I went in the shop. Like I know Shop from watching him on YouTube when he was big on. Like he did a lot of YouTube. That's how I knew who Shop was. So one day I go in the shops and I just start talking to him. Shop starts talking to me. Next thing you know, we're kicking off things. We're pretty good friends. You know what I mean? And it just happens like that. And there's people that you're gonna vibe with inside those communities, and that's the biggest thing: is don't switch games up. You gotta build yourself somewhere in a game. Like when I first started, I was a Fortnite dude. I've seen most of my success from Fortnite, and I've had my biggest viewings in Fortnite and whatnot. But Madden is my game, so I had to make that switch. Like I mean, I had to come out of it because Fortnite, you're not a god. The game. Like a Ninja or Tim the Tatman or Lupo, them big guys, Nick Merckx and those guys, Aiden, those guys. If you're not them guys, them kids ain't worried about you. Them kids are trying to find the person who's going to let them play with them. That's the first thing they're doing, and they're not loyal. I learned the hard way. I'm telling you, I had my biggest. I think my biggest host I ever had when I was in Fortnite was 1,500 people at one time. And it was bonkers. My chat moves so fast, but I like the light. I'm a light guy. Like I'm like, you shine on me and we make something happen. I don't know what we're going to happen, but we'll make it happen. And I enjoy it. I think that's why I enjoy streaming so much, is because like you get to meet people like Shop, Geek. He's another guy. He's another older guy in the community. You got Lauren. Like without this, you don't meet these guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like without this platform, you don't meet these people. Like Shop. We're gonna end up in a football game this year if they have football. You know what I mean? Like you don't get that. Like it's not happening. And I think that's my biggest thing from it is I take from streaming is you find your game, whatever game that you are at least halfway decent at, stick to that game and get to know the community. Like don't go in to the Nick Merckx chat and try to type and get to know Nick Merckx, because it's not gonna happen unless you get lucky. He acknowledges you and he starts seeing you. And for that to happen when you have 30,000 people watching you, it's probably highly unlikely you're not going to get in there and be seen, because the chat's just going to go poof. He's not reading it anyway because he's playing the game.
Right.
So my take on it is go find somebody that's sitting at 50, 80, 100. You can get yourself in those guys. You know what I mean? Like I go to J-Dub. J-Dub knows who I am. I go to Dubby. Dubby knows who I am. Dubby's follows me. He's hosting me. He knows who I am because I took the time to put in his channel. You know what I mean? And that's what you have to do inside the community. If you just sit there and try to stream inside a community and nobody knows you, nobody's going to come. You'll sit on zero. It's what's going to happen. You have to put into the community if you want the community to put back to you. It's one of those things. Like, are they going to give you 50 viewers at one time? No. You're not going to get that every day from everyone. But like me and Shop hosts me. I couldn't even count how many times he's hosted me. But that's because I take my time and put it into him. I'll host him when I have a chance to host him, because we stream almost the same time. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things that you have to learn. Once you learn those little steps, and little steps will take you a big way. So is there any more questions?
I saw one. I think Deke said, what is the first thing you do when all of a sudden an offense online is in a funk and you can't fix it? So besides turning off your PlayStation or your Xbox One,
I was getting ready to go with you with that.
What I usually do, and this has helped me a lot, and I suggest it to everybody that asks me this question, is Usually what happens is you get in a funk because you're running the same plays and those plays aren't working or something. So then I will go a whole game with just ass Madden. Just ass Madden, and you got three plays that you can run. Run one of those 3 plays every time. Don't worry about if you're winning or losing. It'll get you starting to read the field more, because I think what happens with a lot of us is that we have certain plays and then we expect, okay, we know this guy's going to get open this way. This guy's going to get open, on this route in this coverage. But what happens when you pick new plays is you actually have to read the field, and you can't rely on just, oh, I know this gets open, when it comes across the middle or something, So that's what I do. If that doesn't work, then just grab a whole new offensive playbook and play with a whole new offensive playbook. But more than likely, for me, just even if I'm in a funk in a quarter, sometimes I will ask Madden for a whole drive just to get me out of the funk, because it will help me with my reads, help me read the routes better, and that's how I get out of my funk.
I'm kind of the same way. There's plays that I think everybody has, like you said, that we just live and die on. Like there are live and die plays. Like if you're in a certain spot, you know what I mean. Like I'm in this spot. I know where this route's about to land, and it's gonna be open. And then you get somebody that can play it, and they take the route away, and then you're like, shit, what do I do? Like
right. You're like, oh man, I just assumed that was gonna be open. I didn't know he was gonna man the defensive lineman up to my running back or something. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to get back into that mode where you're reading the field and not just making what I call pre-snap reads.
Yeah, pre-snap will kill you.
Only, I mean, there are pre-snap reads, but pre-snap only reads where you're just like, nope, no matter what, I'm going to my out of the backfield, and then that's when you end up
pick for 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like that's one of my things is I've learned a lot too this year is playing. Like now this year, the way the game plays is you have to go in your playbook. Like you have to, because like some of these guys out here, especially with some of the abilities that are on some of these players, they see it a couple times and they kind of fill you out. Like some of these players that you play aren't going to be dumb. Like they're going to be like, well, he ran the ball twice. Now he's going to go into a pass. Like you start, especially if you're a pattern player.
Yeah.
If you're a pattern player, like you run the ball twice, you throw, or you pass, run, or the best thing you could do is mix what you do up. Like mix it up and just keep them off balance and get in your playbook and do plays that you don't, because that's when you start beating people that you're like, you realize where your game's at is when you get in there, is if you can run those plays that you typically don't run.
Yep.
And you could beat some people quick too, because they're not ready for it. It messes them up because they got in that little funk. They're like, well, he just did this 3 times. He's not going to do this. You know what I mean? And then you come out and you end up hitting them with a different play that they weren't ready for. You're in the end zone. That's the best way. I think that's probably one of the best ways I can explain it.
Yeah.
And not get into a pattern, not get into the same plays. Because like I said, everybody does it. Like, especially if you get somebody you feel you could destroy, you just go to your go-tos and you just start trying to eat.
Yep. Especially if you think your team is better than theirs. Oh yeah.
And then you don't realize how good his user is.
Yep.
Get caught up real quick.
Yep.
A lot of good info. I'm a new streamer trying to build a following. Like I said, man, get into your community. Whatever game you're going to stream, if it's Madden, get into Madden chats. Like, build yourself inside. Like, even if it's like, I'm not saying go into everybody's chat. That's not what I say by that, because it's impossible. You'll never meet anybody or build that relationship with a person. Go get 2-3 people in that community and go to their channel, spend some time in there and build that relationship with that person. If that person realizes you're a streamer and you're in his chat long enough, or her chat, and they learn they know who you are by you being in there carrying the conversation, not just coming in going, hey, what's up? And then not saying another thing or coming in just spamming emotes. Like, actually go in there and carry the conversation.
Right.
And I'm telling you, like, people will come to you. Like those people that you build that relationship, they're not going to hesitate to host you and bring those people to you. But the golden key to it is, if you do get that, you got 3 seconds to retain people. You can't let, like, what I tell everybody, even if you're in a tight game, you get raided, your attention has to go to that raid. Like it has to. Like it's the only you're not a big guy. You know what I mean? You're not a Ninja. You're not Tim. You're not any other big streamers like that have these huge followers. They don't have to look to the side and like, oh well, I just got raided. Like they don't. They're not worried about it. They're playing the game.
Right.
Now you're at where you're starting at the bottom. You don't have that following. You don't have anything. You have to retain. That's the only way you're gonna build up. And like Chop said earlier, you have to be real. Just be real with you. Be real with it. Don't try to do something you're not. As soon as people see that, most people will just dip anyways. But if that's it for Shop, I mean, we're gonna let Shop get out of here because he's probably wanting to go play some Madden.
Yeah, definitely going to play some Madden tonight.
Yeah, Shop's my guy, man. Like it was. I didn't even have to question it. Like it wasn't even a question when I went to Shop. I was like, Shop, you ready to get on? I got this time open. He's like, yeah. I didn't even hesitate it. Like he just went and said, hey, look, I'm good. Let's go. So I mean, that's the kind of relationship I'm talking about that you can build through it. Like same thing is like he needed me for something, I'm going. Like there's not a question there. Like that's what you have to build. If you can't build that, then you're gonna have a hard time, and it's not gonna be enjoyable. And honestly, it won't be enjoyable. I'm telling you, like everybody starts at the big zero, and if you, like I said,
Big zero.
If you go and build that relationship and that rapport, and people respect you, it happens. Like you'll start getting bigger people. You know what I mean? Somebody shout, yeah. One of my mods can shout Shop out. Put his link in the chat. There you go, guys. Make sure you go follow him. He does stream in the afternoon. He does basically it's like a stream with the OG. Get your old time playlist on for music.
And midday old school lunch mix.
There it is. What it's called. I couldn't remember the name of it. I just call it the old school mix. But he does that one, and he also does. I think he does a 7:00 version. Are you still at 7:00?
Yeah, I'm still at 7:00. Yeah.
I don't know. My notifications never work, so I always just pop in.
But that's what I was saying. Like I have to get better though, and making sure I stream right at 7:00. So, we're all. I know, especially with me, I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm not. To be honest with you, I'm not worried about. I used to be worried about being partnered, and oh my God, I gotta be partnered. I gotta make partner. And
I kind of gave up on that.
Yeah, and I just was like, you know what? No, I gotta stop worrying about that and just build my community and have fun with the people that come in and stream me, whether I'm partnered or not. I mean, so ever since I took on that attitude of, you know what, don't worry about it, because I applied, didn't make it. So I was like, okay, you know what? I've heard the stories of people applying 2 or 3 times, and it doesn't work out sometimes, and it is what it is. So I haven't even though I've met the numbers before, I haven't applied since, because to me it doesn't matter. It's about what you put into the community and what the community comes back and loves you for.
I mean, I've applied 6 times already. I've applied 6 times and they ain't have it. And but I've learned through those denies. I think learning through those denies taught me a big thing about it. It's my community is still here regardless if I'm partner, if I got a check mark beside me.
Exactly.
My community supports the shit out of me. I got some of the most loyal people. Like I know Shop's gonna say he's like this is a streamer thing. Shop got the best community because that's his community. I have the best community because it's my community. Like this is how it's gonna go. Shop's gonna think his is the best. I'm gonna think mine is the best. But I really truthfully I have some of the most loyal people. Like soon as that button goes live, these dudes are in here. You know what I mean? The same thing with Shop. He hits the live button. Once I see it, I'm there. Like if I'm streaming at the same time, I at least have him tab, but I'll even pop over there while I'm streaming. Yeah. Talk. You know what I mean? And that's a big part of it is realizing loyalty in the people that are showing up every day, and those ones that want to be there. They don't care what you're playing. They don't care what you're doing. They're there for you. Those are the best type of you and community members. Yeah, and they're hard. I'm not gonna lie, they're hard to find. They are damn hard to find in this community because it's so saturated with so many people wanting to stream and people trying to bounce around and get everybody stream. And like I said, it's not a possibility to be in everybody's stream. You gotta just pick your guys, and it is what it is. So that's one of the best things I can tell you is just if you got people coming every day, respect those people and put it your all into those people, because those people are your marketing. They're the ones, like if you're real with them and everything, they're gonna be the one to go spit it out. Hey, look, you gotta come check this guy out. This guy is legit. Like he's cool, he's chill, he's relaxed, he's real with everybody. Like that's word of mouth is the best marketing you can have. So you gotta, like I said, you just respect everybody that comes in your chat. I mean, until they disrespect you. If they disrespect you, that's why you got a ban hammer.
That's why you got mods.
I got mods.
Let them ban.
But yeah, man, is that every? I mean, yeah, Anthony, he comes from sleeping and bans people. That's his thing in my chat. He did it the other day. Somebody started something. He was like, he just came in the chat, whoop, and I was like, damn, dude, you didn't even say hi to me or nothing yet. You already banned somebody.
It's business first.
But if there's no more questions for Shop, I'm gonna let Shop get out of here because he's got his own thing to do, and we got our own thing to do here. So
I appreciate it, Smee. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you taking the time to come over to it and
my guy.
putting it out there, man. You have a